your mind and your heart will not shut up until you have done it. And you don't want to be 80 or near to deathbed and regret all the things that you could have done, that you wanted to do and did not. It's raining, but I don't care. I wanted to do a new YouTube video for so long, and here we go. Since 1/4 of my life is gone, which seems crazy to me. And I turned 25 recently. I just wanted to make a quick video on 25 things that I've learned in my life and share it on here. I've seen this format on other YouTubers' channel and thought I'd give it a go. I stopped at some places on my little walk and tell you one by one. Also, I excuse my bad audio in advance. I bought a microphone, but I have my adapter at university and it's closed there until the end of January. So afterwards it will get better. One thing would be to never excuse who you really are. And it goes with the second one. Your childhood you might tell you more who you are than you'll ever be. I can explain this in 2 reasons. First, the things we like as a child, we find again as adults, and then remember that we like to do those things. And if we think back of that time, we realize that actually if we just observed it a bit more carefully, that they were leading us in some way in our lives. May it be the job that we choose, the hobbies that we like, and so on. Also, I was a very quirky personality, or I still am, but I'm much more controlled now. Like, I have all those crazy ideas. I'm a bit impulsive, rather emotional, rather sensitive, but these are not bad traits. They're good because they make me this really lively, energetic, positive person that I am. And if someone wants to lower my frequency, I just back off because it's who I am and I don't excuse for that. 3, wearing makeup or more makeup. And 4, validation from other people might make you feel good for a second, but it isn't worth anything unless you don't feel confident and certain about yourself. This is something I learned the hard way, and it's important to have a little routine or just caring about yourself, that you feel confident and you look good towards yourself. But anything else that comes afterwards is because how you feel. And of course we all seek for validation in one way or the other, but it's not about that, it's how we feel afterwards. I can explain this also a little further if you'd like. I used to model full time once, and there I thought that this is the most glamorous and prestigious thing to do, but in reality not everything that is gold glitters. So it was rather a really dark period of my time, because I got just criticized or judged by my outer looks, and I am much more than that. And I wanted much more life than that. I thought about what I really want, and it was to bring my personality also in my job. I'm a quite curious, interested and artistic person. I wanted to bring this all in so that the things that I like to do also reflect somehow in my work. And I know it's rather prestigious, and this could also be a point 5, that your job doesn't identify who you are, but if you can do something that you like to do, please do anything to get there. No matter if it's taking an extra job or if you have to study again, even though you think you're rather old or so, please go and do it. This leads me to the 6th point. If there is something you want to do, you really want to do, no matter how hard it seems, please go ahead and do it, because your mind and your heart will not shut up until you have done it. And you don't want to be 80 or near to deathbed and regret all the things that you could have done, that you wanted to do and did not. So save up that money, go on that travel, risk something that might not seem rational at all, confess your feelings, say that person that you love them, and so on and so forth. Wear that skirt, wear that makeup, just do as your heart desires, because you will regret if you don't. I think we're at 7 and my breath is rather out of pace, but doesn't matter. So 7. Movement is so important, and if you just replace it with screen time, it doesn't make such a difference, and you will feel so much better. 8. Invest in books. Seems as not such a good investing advice, but to be honest, all the books that you consume, all the movies that you consume, all the news that you consume, they make you or break you. So you always take a bit of it with you, and they then define who you are. So be thoughtful about this. They're breaking a tree in the forest. I just heard it cracking. So when we're speaking about books, they're made out of trees. This is rather spiritual, but 8. Nothing happens out of coincidence. You attract what you send out, and if these are positive or negative thoughts, you might get that same energy back. So if I'm thinking really depressed thoughts, like, I experienced this and I'm not worth anything or so, you will attract this. But it's like the lucky syndrome, lucky girl syndrome. If you say, I'm such a lucky girl, everything just works out for me, well, guess what comes along? Any possibility that you can't even dream of. And it's because you send out that energy, and you really have to believe it. I'm not speaking about toxic positive affirmation kind of thing, where you just talk, where you really are in a bad place, but you just talk positively to yourselves because you think then it will be that way. No, this is not how it works. This might lead me to a 9th point. You have to talk out or let out all your emotions, even if they are really bad. I used to keep everything towards myself and don't speak about such things as depressed seasons or episodes and like the problems that I have in life. But I noticed that this only leaves me feeling worse. So if I let people in and show myself vulnerable, this is really a strength, and I feel a lot better afterwards. Also, 10, writing down can help you to reflect, but it can also bring you to a downward spiral, which I don't recommend always. So if you have the intention to write, do it, because it can help you to understand yourself better and leave you more inspired and with more clarity. But please, you can push yourself in a downward spiral, and I don't recommend this. Me, for example, I like spending time alone, but we are social beings. So 10, even if it's just a handful of friends, we're just better than none. Cherish them, please nourish those friendships, because we're always stronger together. And even if you think you can make it alone, which you can, you are really grateful if you're just friendly towards people and like care about people. And even if you risk something by loving them, it is worth it at the end, because as I said, we're always stronger together. I have a bit bad eyesight, but as you can see, it's raining and my hands are shaky. But they're taking trees apart here. And I thought it's a quiet place to film a YouTube video, but I'm mainly here for the movement and the reflection and this unplanned kind of video that I hope that you appreciate from my life experience. Nature always leaves me breathless. This is so beautiful. I hope I can make it through the forest because they're cutting trees, but 11th would be that no matter what other people say or think about you, it doesn't define who you are, rather who you ever will be or what potential is inside of you. This is also something I had to learn the wrong way because I got bullied in school for a long time, and I thought like there has to be something that they bully me, or there must be a reason, but the reason was they were just jealous. And even now, as I said, I'm quite quirky and people will judge me all the time for my ideas, for my projects, for how I look, how I dress, but it doesn't define me. And all that matters is how I feel about myself at the end of the day, and yeah, how I feel to accomplish those things. And the people that support you, they also do matter, which I also mentioned before, why we should cherish friendships and relations. Also something I have to work on. I hope you don't mind the background noise, but 12 would be that meditation can make you feel calm, and I recommend it to anybody. Although we have to learn patience and taking time, which is 13. Take the time you need to feel good about yourself, because otherwise you will burn out, which happened to me already. Remember when I filmed those YouTube videos about my learning for wanting to be a medicine student and doing these apprenticeships and studying all day long for what? I burnt myself out because I didn't take the time that I needed to recharge. Sometimes, this could be 14, it's much wiser to spend less time and do something with joy instead of wasting all your hours feeling depressed, stressed and everything, but you feel like you give everything. You always give everything. This could be for 15. You always give your very best. So don't blame yourself if something doesn't work out, because the things that happen to you, like, they are meant to happen right now so that you get stronger, wiser, more inspirational, that they frame your character. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about bad things such as rape or so. I'm talking about the things that build your character up. And it's also about taking risks. But yeah, I think I lost the strength. We're now in the forest, as you see, and there are other men tearing apart trees, which is important. It's a very important job to take care of our environment. I'm thankful for those. Not everything is meant to last. This is also something I've learned the hard way. No matter if it's someone passing, which happens because it's a part of life, or friendships that loosen up and you might lose yourself literally, or lose the connection with them because of time, because of other things you have to focus on, or just other interests and so on, or something bad that happened in your relationship. But it's normal, and it's also a part of life that some are meant to stay for life, or as long as we are able to enjoy this adventure, and others are just gone by a minute, and then we might just needed to learn something from them, or we should cherish the things or the time that we had with them and what they taught us. And so this is it. 17. Practicing gratitude is a resilience skill in life that you need to build up. I sometimes forget about this, but it's so important that to just count down 3 things in the morning, for example, what you're grateful for, and 3 things before sleeping, or counting as much as you like. Like, for example, I'm thankful for being alive today. I'm thankful for breathing, that I'm able to breathe, that I can walk, I can study what I love, that I can pursue an artistic purpose, that I still have my parents and have a good relationship to them, and so on and so forth. And you get the point. 18. Don't judge your teenage self because it felt right in that moment, and you might think, oh my god, silly you, what did you there? I could tell you so many things about my teenage self that didn't make sense, or I feel like, oh my god, but I won't and just leave this here like that. I think you know what I mean. Let me know who you did in your teenage self that you don't regret, but you learned something out of it. I wonder. And I'm curious too, because I'm opening up here, so already talked about the strength of vulnerability, so wonder what you did that makes you who you are today. Being alone sometimes feels like a punishment, but in reality it could be the best thing that happens to you. It would be point 19. I also learned this when I had to kind of take my first holiday alone with me. I planned a trip to the Netherlands on an island in the North Sea with my best friend, but very last minute she did not have enough money, or something like this, and it didn't go as planned, and I didn't want this to stop me, and went there alone with 16 or so. And it was my first holiday alone, and one of the best holidays ever, because I was able to sleep in the park, to do yoga, go swimming by sunset at seashore, to watch the horizon, and made some unbelievable friends, which would lead me to point 20. You are never alone, even if you think you are or will be. You will never be alone if you're just really outgoing or positive towards that will happen to you, like the lucky girl syndrome, which I already talked about. You will experience those connections. And I also traveled a month alone in France once, and in the beginning I had the fear of being alone, feeling very lonely. But in reality I was never alone. I encountered so many friendly people, and if you're just open towards it, you will make those encounterships, and they will make you feel so blessed. And they also give you something along the way. I like that. Would recommend it to anyone. So this could be point 20. Go solo traveling, please. It will teach you so much about yourself. I wanted to film the scenery at the lake. It's really misty. 21 is something rather personal, but if you can and like swimming, please go swimming when it rains. Yes, please. This is the best thing to do in the world, and I just love it. second best thing or third best thing would be, instead of buying new things, buy secondhand if you can. Go thrifting. It makes so much fun. It builds your style, your character. You can experiment with your style so much more than going in a store where everything is really fancy and expensive. And also this finding something very cheap that you love and cherish is such a precious moment, and I just love to do this. So if you want to save some bucks, add to your style, please go secondhand shopping. I can't recommend this enough. And also you do good for the environment. For example, if you choose to only buy things secondhand, because we don't need so much things. Buying that thing won't make you happy. I had to learn this also the hard way, because once I thought like new things would comment my depression or feeling not good enough or so I bought like books and just things from Amazon. I had book addiction once, which I kind of regret because I spent a lot of money. Of course it could have been worse things I really don't need, but I also made those purchases and they won't make you feel better about yourself. So simply don't. Go on a walk, talk, do things you always wanted to do, and yeah. Spending alone time is precious, but when it comes to loving, being more vulnerable, or risking or share your love with someone else is the most precious thing you can do. Sometimes we glamorize being single and we think about all those relationships we could have or the things we could experience, that small gratification or being noticed, a compliment and so on. I mean, it can still happen to you that you flirt and meet nice, beautiful human beings, but when it comes to living, or at least it's something, a rather personal opinion right now again, loving someone and being loved by someone is the most beautiful thing in the world. If you can, or I think it's somehow ein Lebensbedürfnis, we would say in German. And also don't bring yourself in danger just because you think this might be the love of your life. It will probably not be it if you already think such things, and you can notice red flags in an instant, so just don't. Don't go that route that might hurt yourself. I think this is my last point, 25. Anything impossible, but don't get delusional. When it comes to goals that we have in life, for example, a house or a career or that partner or so on, I mean, it is all possible and you can have it all. If you are ready for it, it's just the right moment and you know, all those things. But most of the time we are standing ourselves in the way we think, that we don't risk things, or we just don't have enough resources. Also a very true fact that a lot of people forget about when they, I don't know, see people starting their own businesses, buying that house. Not anyone can do this, or anyone can if they work hard enough for it, but only hard working might not be the thing. It's also a lot about mentality, possibilities, but especially possibilities and resources that we should not take for granted. That was my little walking video of 25 things I learned in my life, and I hope you really enjoyed it, and I see you in the next one. If I forget something, you will see it right now. Bye! I really hope to see you around, so if you like that, please subscribe to my channel and we see each other in the next. I also have some plans to do more videos recently, but if you have a suggestion or something that might interest you, please write down a comment and let me know what you would like to see. So until next time, Lily, bisous! I might be all wet, but I hope this was worth it and that you enjoyed it.